was the tutorial on data frame in Pandas, and in this tutorial let us see how to access and modify the data frame Pandas. Before we make use of Pandas, we have to import the Pandas library and also the NumPy library into the Jupyter Notebook environment. So that we do it by import Pandas as PD, then import NumPy as NP. So let us execute this cell. Since no error, this has indicated that it has imported the libraries from Pandas and NumPy. First, let us see how we can select a column in a data frame. So for that, an example data frame is taken here. So the data is given by D. Let me call it as data itself. The data, which is having a dictionary of series as the data. So first series is having the column index 1 given by the dictionary key 1, and the data is in the form of series, pd.series, having the data 1, 2, 3, and with the row indexes A, B and C. And the second column is having the column index 2, and this is the dictionary key 2, and the data for this column is 1, 2, 3, 4 with the row indexes A, B, C and D. So if I print this, form a data frame out of this data, df is the data frame form and pd.data frame, and the data given is data data. Before using the column selection, let me print the data frame so formed. So this is the data frame form, and you see that corresponding to the row index D under column 1, since the fourth data is not there, it has taken it as not a number. Next, let us execute this df is equal to, so this, to select the column corresponding to the index that is indicated within the square bracket here, just give the statement df, then within the square bracket the column index you want to select. Here I have given the column index 2 so that only this column will be selected and this will be dropped. Now let me execute this by removing the comment statement for this df line. So now you see the data corresponding to the column 2 only is picked up. The name of that column is 2 and it is data type is int 64. Now if you make it as 1, it will pick up only the first column, that is 1, 2, 3 and not a number. This is how we select the column. Next, how we can add a new column to the existing data frame. So the existing data is, the data given is the same as before, and we form a data frame out of that and print that data frame. So now we have the data frame formed out of the data that is given in the form of a dictionary of series. Next, let us add a third column with the column index 3, okay, to the data frame df so formed with this statement df within square bracket, give the column index for the new column to be added, and what is the data to be added under that new column is given as pd.series 10, 20, 30. That is, these are the data to be added under the column name 3 and having the row indexes A, B and C. So if I print df, you will see here that the third row is column is added and the data is available for row indexes A, B and C and no data for the row index D. So it has taken it as not a number. So that is to add a second column 4. This is generated by adding the data in the column with index 1 and 3, and that is printed here. So we have the data frame that is To the original data frame, which was having 2 columns and 4 rows, we added one more column to that, that is 3. Now we shall see how we can add a new column to this by making use of the data in the first original data frame itself. Now see, I have given df1 plus data frame 3, that is with the column index 1 and 3, the data in the column indexes 1 and 3 are added, and that forms the 4th column in the data frame. So if you execute this, you will see here the 4th column is having data which is the sum of 1 and 3. So 10 plus 1, then 20 plus 2, 30 plus 3 forms the 4th data, 4th column in the new data frame. So how we can delete a column in the data frame? So let us take this data, same data, and form a data frame and print that data frame. So this is our data frame with 3 columns. So 1 and 3 are having only 3 data. So the 4th one is not a number, and 2 is having all the 4 data. So in this data frame, let us delete a column out of this. So let us delete the first column. So first column is having index 1. So if I write 1, to delete that, the statement is del, then space, then data frame name, and within square bracket index of the column which you want to delete from the data frame. So if I execute this, you will observe here only the 2 columns with indexes 2 and 3 are present here, and the other one is, first one is absent. So you can even delete the column by making use of another function, df.pop function. So df.pop and 1. Now 1 is not there. Let us see what happens if I execute this, because 1 is not there already, we have deleted. So instead I will give 2. So now 2 is deleted and only 3 is left here. Next, let us see how we can select a row, then add a row and also delete a row. So one method is by selecting the row by label. By passing on the row label to a function called log, we can select a row. So let us again form the data frame using the data that is given here with 2 columns and 4 rows. Let me suppress this until we form the data frame. Okay. So now we have the data frame df, which is having 4 rows and 2 columns. In that, let me delete the row corresponding to the index, that is D, that is the last row. That is done by making use of the function log. So print df.log D, that is after deleting this row, print the remaining data frame. So now you see under column 1, we have the data NaN corresponding to the dth row. Under column 2, we have the, this is how we are not deleting, we are selecting. We are selecting only the row index D, data under row index D. So corresponding to column 1, we have NaN, corresponding to column 2, we have the data which is 4. So that you can observe here. So before this, so under column 1 corresponding to the last row, we have NaN, then 4. So that was printed, only corresponding to the last row was printed for each of the column here. So next, by passing the integer location, also we can select the rows. So that is done by the function iLock. So let us take the same data D with the same data that is formed the data frame DF. So let me first observe the data frame. So this is the data frame. In this, I want to select the zeroth row. See, in the absence of these indexes A, B, C, D, for the rows, they are designated as 0, 1, 2, 3. Now I want to select the row corresponding to 0th row only. Then I can give that integer location of the row as iLock 0, and that will give me only corresponding to this. Under column 1, 1, under column 2, 1. Now you see 1, 1 and 2, 1. So instead of 0, if I pass 1, I will get under column 1 data is 2, under column 2 also data is 2. Suppose if I make this as 20, I will get 2 and 20. Okay, this is how we select the rows. Then multiple rows can be selected using this apostrophe operator. So let us see how we can do that. So let me form the data frame D. So now I have the data frame D. So to select multiple rows, see rows are A, B, C, D or 0, 1, 2, 3. From which row to which row? Suppose I want to select from row number 2 to 0, 1, 2 to 3. I must give the last ending index as 3 plus 1, 4. See, now this will select data in the rows starting from 2 to 3. These. So under column 1, you will have 3 and 9. Under column 2, you will have 3 and 4. So now if I execute this, under column 1, 3 and 9, 2, 3 and 4. So this is the row which is having index 2, and this is the row which is having 4 minus 1, that is 3 as the index. So instead of 2, I'll make this as 0, 0 to 3. Okay. So first let me get the data frame. Now since I have given it from 0 to 3, I will have the rows selected from 0, 1 and 2. That is, these 3 rows will be selected. The last one will be omitted. So we will have the data frame with the rows selected corresponding to the row indexes 0, 1, 2. 2 is 3 minus 1. Next, let us see add new rows to the data frame using the append function. This will append the row at the end of the data frame. So now let us form two data frames DF1 and DF2 with these data. So the first data frame DF1 is having 2 columns and 2 rows. Column 0 and 1, column A and B, rows 0 and 1. And similarly, second data frame is also having data 5, 6, 7, 8 with the column C and D. Okay, so let me print these two data frames and then modify this and suppress all the remaining data frames and the remaining functions. Okay, let me print DF1 and DF2. So our DF1 is having data 1, 2, 3, 4 with the column index AB and row index 0, 1. And data frame 2, print df2 here. Data frame 2 is having column index CD and row indexes 0, 1. So 5, 6, 7, 8 is the data. Let us form a third data frame df3, which is done by appending df2 with the df1. So they will be merged together, df1 and df2, to get the new data frame df3. So let us print that data frame and see how it looks. So now the data frame df3 is, so the first data frame with column index AB 1, 2, 3, 4, and then second data frame with column index CD and data corresponding to that will be 5, 6, 7, 8. Since there are 4 columns, it has taken 4 column indices, but corresponding to the column indices C and D in the first data frame, we don't have any data, so it has typed not a number, not a number for both the rows. So in the second data frame, we don't have the column indexes A and B. So corresponding to A and B, in the corresponding rows, we have not a number typed here. So we got a new data frame by appending the 2 data frames. So this is because I have given different column indices here. Instead, if I make the column index same, A and B, let us see what happens. So now you see, since there is a common column indices, they are appended in this fashion. The second data frame is having same column index, so it has come below that, and all the data are present for all the rows and columns. And row indexes, you see that they are repeating 0 and 1 for the first data frame. Second data frame is also having 0 and 1. So both put together we have 2 rows with the same indexes, row index 0 and 1. So this is how we make use of the append function to form a new data frame using 2 different data frames. So how we can use index label to delete or drop rows from the data frame. And suppose if the rows are having multiple duplicated indexes, all will with the same index will be dropped. So we have here df1, df2, and we have the third data frame formed out of this. And I don't know whether it will be, I'll take this to the next cell. And make this a sub slide so that, okay, so let me form the new data frame df1 and df2 are the 2 data frames, and then the third data frame is formed by appending the df1 and df2. Let me suppress this until the third data frame is formed. Okay, so this is the third data frame. In this third data frame, I want to drop any rows with a particular row index. So suppose I want to drop a row with the label 0. So df3 dot drop, then give the row index which you want to drop, then print that data frame formed by dropping that particular row. So from df3 drop the row with the index 0. Previously we have seen that there are 2 rows with the 0 indices. So when I give this, both the rows will be dropped. Let me execute this. You see that the fourth data frame which is formed is not having the rows corresponding to the index 0. So the only other 2 rows with indices 1 are present with the new data frame. So this is how we do modification, modify the data frame or access any particular row or column in the data frame.